Hey, aloha from tropical Montana, Montana Skywatchers 1 and 2. This is Samuel Hofman. Today is the 22nd of February 2018. How you guys doing out there? Hey, members. Hey, new members and old members alike, and people who know me that are not members. I'm on YouTube. Just type in Samuel Hofman. That's Hofman with one F, Hofman. Anyway, wanted to give you guys a heads up. A lot of really new activities been going on. Um, Huge amounts of sightings coming in from the lead object, which has recently been crossing the sun. A lot of folks are getting it just over here. Now, depending on your angle and where you're located, these angles will be different, of course. But we've been seeing majorly Attu's moon in the presence of what's been going on since, oh my God, since the turn of the year. We started seeing a lot of it come in September, October, and November, but then Attu's moon was over on the right-hand side of the sun. And of course, this is generically speaking facing the east at sunrise or generically facing the west at sunset. Now, granted, there's minor variations, but that's basically how we can view this. Now, during the middle of the day, of course, it changes a little bit because these guys are all rotating and moving over the top of us in a transitional move. Now, this is what I'm kind of like working on today to try and discuss is some of this transitional move. Now, the group of you the majority of you that know what's going on have known that Nepenthe has come over from the left-hand side and is currently a little bit different than this last drawing of just even a few days ago. Transitions have been noted, and I've seen a lot of 20 or 30 sightings just come in the last, today, and then a bunch yesterday and everything, where Nepenthe is transitioning over the top of the sun and cutting it off as well as being. And Attu and Nepenthe are both moving over to from the right to the left, but they're transitioning toward us and over the top of us. And depending, again, like I said, on your location, this is what's going on, and how you see it may be slightly different. Now, Matthew over in Indonesia, fantastic job. His angle's a little bit different than, say, for instance, Richard or any of the other great captures here in the eastern United States and the southern states, etc., even compared to what I view. Now, our friend up here in Montana here, Tanya. Hi, Tanya. Thank you for the picture you sent me earlier today. Fantastic. It filled in a lot of blanks for me, what was going on overhead here in Montana versus what everybody else shows me, because I don't always get to see a lot of stuff outside like I like to, because most of the time I, of course, am looking at photos from around the world. And the rest of the time I'm doing dishes or laundry. But anyway, woes of a single father. Anyway, today I'd like to discuss how Nepenthe has transitioned and still is transitioning like this. They come and they go in this movement pattern. And I recently posted a crop circle pattern where it shows the spiral, 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 and then the approach from left to right, left to right, left to right, and then coming closer and closer and closer to Earth. Now, I also want to point out that the object cluster group this week and last week have been horrendously large, very, very close. We've actually had the lead object go through our atmosphere between Earth and the moon, and the sightings were numerous. I mean, the cloud was so unbelievable. Now, they're also trying to put over a little chemtrail and stuff to make you think it's all chemtrails. But the big, wide, nasty, majorly thick cloud going across the sky versus the little thin chemis, which I don't normally like to discuss because that gets us in trouble. And not only that, it's a distraction, so I'm going to avoid the distractions. But anyway, I want everybody to know that when Nepenthe comes over close past, she's the rain bomber. Now, we've seen direct evidence this week of the Indonesian volcano going off, and there's numerous sightings of Attu's moon directly above the volcanic explosion. All right, and I mean, the literally it blows right into and around. Now, this, of course, on the far east is a little bit more overhead where compared to what we see over here. But I assure you that Nepenthe is following in behind Attu, and Nepenthe is getting as large as Attu has been ever since the turn of the year, from 2017 to 2018. Nibiru is showing up hardcore as well. She's coming in a dark area on the right hand side, and everybody's been seeing the red skies lately because is Saturn. Now, if you take Nepenthe out of this equation here, and I'll show you here, I'm going to move over to paper cutouts. what's been going on. Well, heck, I don't even really need to. Um, Nupesity has been moving forward and overhead where At2's location is as the day transitions. And that opens up exposure to view of Isatum and Isatum's yellow moon, which is still showing up in footage that I got in today, this morning, and everything else from around the world. And the red skies and everything is a direct relation to how close Isatum is to the sun. Now, we're seeing a lot of this prior to sunrise because that's a visual effect at the angle of light, the LOS, line of sight. I talk about that all the time. I hope you guys get this. The line of sight and the angling of the sun at pre-sunrise can show you a lot of what's going on by the color and who's where and everything else. And we've seen a lot of illumination, the bottom of At2. Now, a month ago, everybody was sighting this big white second sun, they thought. And what it is, it's been the bottom of At2's moon, if not the entire At2's moon, in full illumination. Now, the bottom of Nupesity is doing the same thing this week, and we've had a lot of pictures coming in from the rainbow hue. Now, remember, the rainbow hue comes from the debris field of the object cluster group, and there's two of them now, or more. There's many, many more. And that is the asteroid field that runs underneath of Uri and At2, in which I've shown representations of numerous times as well. Now, what I want you to know is that we're going under these things and we're headed in this direction, and yet those guys are spiraling as well. So we've got a double effect, and on some occasions it speeds up so fast it's really hard to keep into one month drawing, and I'm almost ready to put out 2 a month, but I don't really have a great deal of time for that, and it cuts down the error of margin for mistake as well. But anyway, so I'm looking into it, and I've had a lot of trouble with programs and computer issues, and I'm being hacked again. And my computer today almost up and died on me, and so I was like trying to have a heart attack trying to get you this film. But anyway, moving along. Uh, a lot of what's going on is directly related to the planets, and people keep asking, well, wouldn't we see more effects like this? You guys, the world news is being filtered. You're not going to find out this information unless you go for yourself and look for this information. You want a region, pick a region, go in, try and get their weather, try and look at credible sources. And speaking of credible sources, a lot of us are getting our news from Facebook, and I really wish a good portion of you would find your own real news elsewhere, and that way the distractions of all these gun shootings and all this other crazy stuff isn't going to grab hold of you and get you angry. Because once you get angry, you shut down your thinking process, and you stop seeing the things that are really important, that are really going on, because these a great deal of these are distractions to keep you from seeing what's really about to happen. Now, I'm not going to be gloom and doom, but I want you to know that these excruciatingly close horizontal passes of the asteroids mean that they're really damn close to Earth. Now, I checked the charts for the NEOs, which is near Earth objects for you new folks. The chart for next month is off the charts. There are so many large things coming in at such a close distance that I think, and I don't normally do this, but I'd like you all to get ahead on this and maybe plan to buy a little extra dried foods and rice and oatmeal and God only knows what and put it aside. I'm not saying go crazy. I'm not saying charge up your credit cards. I'm just saying buy a couple extra items each week at the store, or each time you go to the store, get something extra that maybe you can eat. Because if history follows suit, we may see a major asteroid event in March. We may see it sooner. We may see it later. I'm not calling the date. I want you to look up Edgar Casey. I want you to look up a lot of this information and go back to the end of the last cycle through history. It shows you what happened. If you want to know the future, look back in the past. Anyway, I've given you enough time. I'm going to make this fast, and that way it'll post up fast and quick, because Montana has the slowest upload speed in the country. Yet I still get to pay full price. Gosh, thanks, guys. Anyway, aloha from tropical Montana, Montana Skywatchers 1 and 2, and my YouTube site, Samuel Hofman, Hofman. You guys have a great day, and heads up, this is getting some serious stuff, and I really want you to get on board with this. If you don't know this information, the information is available. Ask for it. We'll send you links. We'll teach you whatever you want to know. This is not guessing. Guys, we have done this for 8 years. We have the facts. This is time-proven information. And if you're just learning about myself and Montana Skywatchers and all the fantastic members who send in pictures every day, these folks are great member scientists. They're working for you for free. So guys, at least spend the time thinking about what we're showing you. These planets have atmospheres. They don't stick out like Hollywood teaches you. They each have individual atmospheres, and we over the 8 years have actually gotten enough sightings that we know what they look like, we know how they come in, we know where they are, and we know what they're doing. You guys take care. I got a dash. Aloha from tropical Montana.